hormone which affect the glucose metabolism or carbohydrate metabolism is insulin. So insulin promote the muscle glucose uptake and its metabolism. So we seen that cortisol or growth hormone, they increase the gluconeogenesis and increase the blood glucose level, but insulin decreases the blood glucose level and promotes its transport into the muscle where it get metabolized. So during much of the day, muscle tissue depend not on the glucose but on the fatty acid for its energy. Okay, so if you remember, I told many times that in normal circumstances only vital organ like brain, RBCs, they only depend on the glucose, whereas muscles use fatty acid for their energy, not the glucose. Okay, but there are some exceptions. Okay, when you are resting, that time, or you are doing normal work, that time our muscles utilize free fatty acid for the energy, whereas brain, testes, RBCs, they utilize the glucose. When you perform the moderate amount of exercise, that time muscle undergo aerobic glycolysis. Mean that time during slight or moderate exercise, muscle utilize the glucose for energy under aerobic glycolysis. If you are performing heavy exercise, that time muscles utilize glucose but it undergo by anaerobic glycolysis, whereas in during normal performance or normal workout which we normally do, that time muscles don't utilize the glucose for energy. Okay, so why? The resting muscle membrane is only slightly permeable to glucose except when muscle fiber is stimulated by insulin. So when you are not performing any work, like you are sitting on the chair, that time your muscles are resting, and that time only slightly amount of your muscle membrane is permeable for glucose except insulin, because insulin responsible for the translocation of glucose transporters on the cell surface of muscle fiber, and ultimately when glucose transporters come onto the cell surface, they will transport the glucose from outside to inside. So amount of insulin secreted is too small to promote significant amount of glucose entry into the muscle cell when you are not performing heavy exercise or blood glucose is normal. Under two conditions, muscle do use large amount of glucose. One is during the moderate or heavy exercise. This is I explained already that during moderate or heavy exercise you require the immediate source of energy. Okay, where in normal circumstances muscles utilize free fatty acid which undergo first beta oxidation, then citric acid cycle, then electron transport chain, and after electron transport chain the ATP is synthesized, is utilized by body. But during moderate or heavy exercise you require the large amount of energy in very short time. That time glycolysis is the immediate source of energy, because in glycolysis there is a substrate level of phosphorylation in which there are ATP are synthesized during glycolysis. And next is glucose does not require large amount of insulin, as a muscle contraction increases the translocation of glucose transporter 4. So in normal circumstances insulin is responsible for the translocation of glucose transporters 4 onto the cell surface, but during heavy exercise there is a large amount of muscle contraction, so that muscles get permeable for glucose, and at that time even small amount of insulin is sufficient to transport the glucose transporters from inside the cell to the cell surface. So when they transport onto the cell surface, glucose will enter into the cell. Again, the muscle glucose is utilized in large amount during or after few hours of meal. Whenever we take the food, it will get metabolized. When it will get metabolized, whatever the complex carbohydrate, that will be convert into or process into simple one. So complex carbohydrate will ultimately convert into glucose. So that time glucose concentration in blood is very high. When glucose concentration in blood is very high, pancreas is secreting large quantity of insulin. The extra insulin causes the rapid transport of glucose into the muscle cell, which cause the muscle cell to use the glucose. So after food or after meal, the complex carbohydrate will be metabolized into the simple carbohydrate like glucose. When large amount of glucose is present in blood, that glucose is undergo glycolysis in liver. It produces the ATP. That ATP entered into pancreas, and in terms of that, pancreas secretes the large amount of insulin. That insulin secretion of insulin will bind to the muscle cell, to the insulin receptor, which is responsible for the translocation of glucose transporters on the cell surface. And from that glucose transporters, blood glucose will enter into the muscle. If muscles are not exercised after meal, and add glucose is transported into the muscle. Even though after meal, if you are not doing any exercise, if you are in resting phase, still insulin will translocate the glucose transporters on the cell surface, and glucose will transport from blood into the inside cells. Whereas in previous example, the blood glucose is normal, but you are performing heavy exercise, which in turn less amount of insulin also responsible for the translocation of glucose transporters. So there are two conditions. One is in heavy exercise, and another is after large taken of meal. So if you are not doing exercise, still glucose will enter into your skeletal muscle, but this time it will not undergo glycolysis, which is normally takes place in during heavy exercise. Because after meal, if you are not doing exercise, that glucose whatever enter into the cell, which will be utilized for the glycogenesis, means synthesis of glycogen, and it will be stored as a glycogen. It's specially useful for the short period of extreme energy by muscle. This whatever the glycogen is synthesized and stored in a muscle, it will be utilized when you are performing the heavy exercise. After whenever it provides the spurts of anaerobic energy for few minutes at a time via glycolytic cycle. So the synthesized glycogen which stored in a body, whenever you performing heavy exercise, this will be utilized for the anaerobic glycolysis and will be provide the energy during heavy exercise. So quantitative effect of insulin to facilitate the glucose transport through the muscle cell membrane. Insulin can increase the rate of transport of glucose into resting muscle by at least 15-fold. Insulin promotes the liver uptake, storage and use of glucose. Insulin causes most of the glucose absorbed after meal to be rapidly stored in a liver in the form of glycogen. It is similar whatever it is takes place in muscles. Between the meals, when blood glucose concentration fall, insulin secretion decreases. rapidly, and liver glycogen is split back into the glucose, and that glucose will again taken in the blood to keep the blood glucose normal. The mechanism of glucose uptake and storage in liver. Insulin inactivates the liver phosphorylase that cause the liver glycogen to split into glucose. So whenever after meal, whenever the blood glucose level is high, insulin inactivate the liver phosphorylase. This enzyme is responsible for the degradation or breakdown of glycogen into glucose, because after meal already blood glucose level is high, so insulin inactivate the liver phosphorylase for the further breakdown of glycogen to glucose to increase the blood glucose level. Then at the same time, insulin enhance the uptake of glucose from the blood by liver cell by increasing the activity of enzyme glucokinase. So after meal the blood glucose level is high, so insulin promote the transport of glucose from blood to liver cell and increase the glycogenesis by activating enzyme glucokinase. After phosphorylation of glucose is temporarily trapped inside the liver cell. So after insulin promote the uptake of glucose from blood to liver. Okay, now glucose is inside the liver cell. Okay, so glucose can transport outside to inside, inside to outside the cell, but once the glucose get phosphorylated into glucose 6 phosphate, okay, then it will not come outside of the cell, because there is no transporters to transport glucose 6 phosphate from inside the cell to outside the cell. So glucose 6 phosphate will be temporarily trapped inside the liver cell, and that glucose 6 phosphate will be utilized for the glycogenesis, for the synthesis of glycogen, and it will be stored as a glycogen in liver when blood glucose level is high. When blood glucose level will come to low down after few hours of food, taking food, or after few hours of meal, then insulin secretion will stop or decrease. At that time the glycogen which is stored in the liver is again get metabolized to free glucose, and that free glucose is transported to blood for the utilization by vital organ. Okay, here I said that free glucose, not the glucose 6 phosphate. Glucose 6 phosphate is not can be transported from inside to outside the cell. Insulin also increase the activities of enzyme that promote the glycogen synthesis in liver when blood glucose is entered into the glycogen. For example, glycogen synthase, which is responsible for the polymerization of glucose into glycogen. The net effect of all this action is to increase the amount of glycogen in liver. Then glycogen can increase up to about 5 to 6% of total liver mass. So liver can store up to 5 to 6% glycogen in liver. Glucose is released from the liver between the meals. When blood glucose level begin to fall after several events cause liver to release glucose back into the circulating blood. Okay, so here when after few hours of meal blood glucose level is begin to fall, that time liver is metabolize the glycogen into glucose, and that glucose is come back into circulating blood. It is done by the decreasing the blood glucose cause the pancreas to decrease insulin secretion. Okay, so after few hours of meal, when blood glucose concentration is less, ultimately pancreas stop the synthesis of insulin, so secretion of insulin is decreased. The lack of insulin stop the further synthesis of glycogen in liver. Okay, and it prevents the further uptake of glucose by liver from the blood. The lack of insulin and at the same time increase of glucagon hormone activate the enzyme phosphorylase, which cause the splitting of glycogen into glucose phosphate inside the liver. Then enzyme glucose 6-phosphatase, which produce the free glucose from the glucose 6-phosphate, and that free glucose diffuse back into the blood. Thus liver remove the glucose from the blood when it is present in excess after meal, and return the glucose into the blood when blood glucose concentration falls after the meal or between the meal. About 60% of glucose in meal is stored in this way in the liver and then returned into the blood after few hours of meal. Okay, means when blood glucose is very high, the glucose is transported into liver and stored as a glycogen. At the same time, after few hours of a meal, when blood glucose level is dropped, then same glucose which is converted into glycogen in liver is again turned back into glucose, and that transported again into the blood to maintain the normal blood glucose level. So it is about 60% of glucose is stored in liver after meal, and same 60% glucose is again transported back into blood after few hours of meal. Insulin also inhibits the gluconeogenesis mainly by decreasing the activities of liver enzyme required for the gluconeogenesis. So when already there is a high blood glucose, insulin inhibits the gluconeogenesis in liver, but it increases the glycogenesis by synthesis of glycogen by taking the glucose from the blood. Insulin decreases the release of amino acid from muscle and other extrahepatic tissue necessary for the gluconeogenesis. Effect of insulin on carbohydrate metabolism in other cell. Insulin increases the glucose transport and used by most other cells of the body, exception most of the brain cells. The transport of glucose into adipose tissue or adipose cell mainly provide substrate for the glycerol portion for the fat molecule. Okay, so insulin transport the glucose into adipose tissue. So in adipose tissue, this glucose is utilized for the synthesis of glycerol. Okay, so glycerol 3-phosphate. There is glycerol 3-phosphate in combination with free fatty acid form the triacylglycerol, and this triacylglycerol gets stored in the form of fat or lipid in the adipose tissue. So insulin promotes the deposition of fats in adipose tissue by this mechanism.